Have you ever wondered how silence, a force so often overlooked, can speak louder than words and reshape the course of your life? In today's world, where constant noise, both external and internal, demands our attention, silence has become an underrated ally, a forgotten tool of personal power. Yet, those who understand its significance know that silence is not simply the absence of sound. It's a space for reflection, a ground from which strength emerges, and a subtle but profound way to reclaim your power. This journey we're about to embark on together is not just a discussion of abstract principles, nor is it a collection of empty strategies. It's an exploration, a deep dive into the quiet power that lies within us all. We are here to transform our understanding of ourselves, not through the clamor of external approval, but by learning to listen to the quiet whispers of our inner voice. It's time to unlock the transformative power of silence and, through that, crush the illusions that dependency on others creates, revealing the raw, unshakable strength of self-worth. Our modern world has trained us to believe that louder is stronger, that those who dominate conversations, make bold declarations, or chase validation are the ones who win. But the real victors in life, those who experience a deep sense of fulfillment and command respect, are not the loudest. They are the ones who have mastered the art of silence, who have learned that stillness can be more powerful than any outcry. Silence, in its deepest form, doesn't mean passivity or disengagement. It means reflection and control. It's the calm within the storm, the ability to hold your ground when chaos surrounds you. When we stop chasing approval from the world and turn inward, we find that our self-approval is the only endorsement we need. This isn't about overpowering others, it's about empowering yourself to embrace serenity, solitude, and the mastery over your own responses. By choosing to remain silent when words would be futile, you reclaim control over the only thing you can ever truly control: yourself. Imagine a moment where someone lashes out at you, perhaps in anger or frustration. The common response is to react, defend, or retaliate. But consider for a moment power in staying silent. In refusing to give energy to conflict, you become the one in control, not only of the situation but of your own emotions. By practicing silence, you command respect because you show that you are not easily swayed by the world's noise. This is the essence of Stoicism, the ancient philosophy that teaches us to focus on what we can control, and that is our own actions and reactions. One of the greatest arenas where silence becomes your most powerful tool is in relationships. Here we often fall prey to the desire for validation, the need to be understood, and the pursuit of approval. But have you ever noticed that the strongest relationships are built on the unspoken bond of mutual respect and understanding? In romantic relationships, particularly, there's a tendency for women to test men, not out of malice but out of instinct. This testing is not some game, but a way to assess the strength of a partner's character. Women often challenge men to see if they are consistent, resilient, and true to themselves. If a man falters under emotional pressure, if he responds emotionally or chases after validation, his appeal diminishes in her eyes. This is not a conscious decision but a natural response to inconsistency. Why does this happen? Because strength of character, the ability to remain centered and composed, is an attractive quality. It signals that a man is guided by a deeper understanding of himself rather than by the fleeting whims of emotions or desire. Every time you are tested and remain calm, you demonstrate that you are not a slave to impulse. You show that your identity is rooted in something much deeper: your principles, values, and sense of self. Imagine a situation where your partner questions your decisions or challenges your opinions. Rather than reacting defensively or emotionally, the Stoic approach would be to take a breath, reflect, and respond calmly. It's not about dismissing her or avoiding engagement. It's about standing firm in your identity without being rattled. In these moments, silence can be your most powerful response, not the kind of silence that ignores, but the kind that listens deeply, considers the situation, and answers from a place of strength. This is not a test of coldness or distance. On the contrary, it's about cultivating a deep sense of self-awareness, one that does not crumble in the face of challenge, but remains unshaken, much like a tree that stands firm in the wind. Women, and indeed, anyone you encounter, will respect and admire this strength because it shows you are not driven by external validation, but by your own inner compass. Think for a moment about how much of your life is shaped by the need for approval. From social media likes to the opinions of family and friends, we are often swayed by how others see us. This pursuit of validation becomes exhausting, and worse, it leads us down a path where our sense of self-worth becomes tied to external sources. what happens when you shift that focus inward? When you begin to seek approval from yourself rather than the world? Suddenly, the noise quiets down. You no longer feel the constant pressure to perform or prove yourself because your worth is no longer dependent on what others think. This is the power of silence, the kind of silence that allows you to break free from the chains of external validation. When you stop chasing after the fleeting approval of others, you open the door to true self-respect. You begin to realize that your value is intrinsic, not something that fluctuates based on someone else's opinion. This is not an easy shift to make. It requires constant practice, especially in a world that bombards you with messages about what you should be. But each time you choose silence over chasing validation, each time you turn inward for approval rather than outward, you are reclaiming your power. You are showing yourself that you are enough just as you are, without the need for external affirmation. We often enter relationships with certain expectations, some of them reasonable, others shaped by societal standards or personal insecurities. One of the most common mistakes is to overvalue superficial traits, such as physical appearance, while ignoring deeper qualities like character and shared values. The Stoic approach invites us to rise above the surface level and look deeper. Attraction based solely on physical beauty is fleeting. It's like admiring a beautifully wrapped gift, only to find that what's inside is disappointing. True connection, the kind that lasts, is built on shared principles, mutual respect, and emotional depth. It's about finding someone whose values align with yours, whose character resonates with your own. When you let go of the need to be dazzled by appearance and instead focus on the substance of a person's heart and mind, you elevate the quality of your relationships. This doesn't mean you shouldn't appreciate beauty, but it should never be the foundation upon which you build a relationship. True intimacy grows from the depth of your connection, not the allure of the surface. By refining your expectations and looking beyond the superficial, you protect yourself from the cycle of unfulfilling relationships. You learn to value what truly matters, and in doing so, you attract partners who see and respect the deeper aspects of who you are. This is not about lowering your standards, it's about raising them to include qualities that create lasting fulfillment. At the heart of this exploration is Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that teaches us the importance of inner strength, self-control, and the mastery of our emotions. Stoicism is not about suppressing your feelings, but rather about recognizing what is within your control and what is not. It's about understanding that external events, including the actions and opinions of others, are beyond your control. The only thing you can control is how you respond. Silence plays a key role in this philosophy. It allows you to pause, reflect, and choose your response rather than reacting impulsively. In moments of conflict, uncertainty, or challenge, silence gives you the space to gather your thoughts and act from a place of strength. When you embrace the Stoic mindset, you become someone who is not easily swayed by external forces. You develop an inner calm that commands respect, not because you shout the loudest, but because you speak with clarity and purpose when you do. Silence becomes your ally, not in the sense of avoiding confrontation, but in mastering your reactions so that you are always acting from a place of self-awareness and strength. As you journey through life, remember that silence is not emptiness. It's a space for growth, reflection, and inner power. By mastering the art of silence, you reclaim control over your life, your relationships, and your sense of self-worth. You learn to stop chasing after the approval of others and instead find validation within yourself. This journey isn't about overpowering others or proving yourself. It's about empowering yourself to live with dignity, integrity, and unshakable peace. Each time you choose silence, each time you listen to your inner voice over the clamor of the world, you move one step closer to becoming the person you were always meant to be: strong, self-assured, and unwavering. Bouncing back from the trials of life is a journey we all embark on, often finding ourselves confronted by unexpected turns of fate. The struggles that we encounter, whether they come in the form of a job loss, the unraveling of a cherished relationship, an unexpected health diagnosis, or a deep personal failure, strike at the core of who we are, testing our strength and our spirit. These moments, laden with pain and confusion, have the potential to break us, or, if we are willing to look deeper, to shape and elevate us. They force us to confront the gap between who we are and who we wish to become. For those who follow the wisdom of Stoicism, these painful junctures in life are not mere roadblocks, they are invaluable opportunities. Opportunities to foster growth, to practice virtues like patience, resilience, and the cultivation of inner peace. The heart of Stoicism a philosophy rooted in the ancient world, lies the profound belief that life's challenges are not just accidents of fate or cosmic misfortune. They are invitations to grow, to dig deeper within ourselves, and to discover the strength that lies dormant beneath the surface. Stoicism teaches that while we cannot always control the external forces that shape our lives, we can master our response to them. It is not the events themselves, but our interpretation of them that determines our experience of life. Imagine, for instance, the sudden loss of a job. For most people, this could evoke a wave of panic, anger, or even despair. The natural reaction might be to fixate on the unfairness of the situation, the lost opportunities, and the uncertainty that looms ahead. However, Stoicism invites us to take a different perspective. Instead of succumbing to despair, the Stoic would view the loss as a moment to pause, to reflect, and to recalibrate their goals. What new paths are now open? What can be learned from this experience? Rather than being overwhelmed by fear or frustration, Stoicism encourages us to see this loss as an opportunity, a chance to reassess our priorities, refine our vision, and ultimately grow stronger. The same perspective can be applied to a betrayal, one of the most emotionally charged experiences we can face. When someone close to us betrays our trust, the initial wave of anger, bitterness, or sadness can feel all-consuming. Yet Stoicism reminds us that, while we cannot control the actions of others, we have full dominion over our response. Instead of being swept up by emotions, we are encouraged to step back, observe the situation with detachment, and focus on what remains within our control: our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions. By doing so, we diminish the power others have to shake our inner peace, and we build an unshakable core of resilience. In relationships, Stoicism offers a path to navigating emotional challenges with grace and wisdom. When faced with criticism or conflict from a partner, the natural response might be to react defensively, to raise our voice in frustration, or to engage in a heated argument. Yet, the Stoic way is to practice silence, not the silence of defeat or withdrawal, but a deliberate silence born of strength. Imagine a situation where a close friend or loved one belittles your achievements or undermines your efforts. Instead of jumping into a reactive stance, the Stoic would choose stillness, recognizing that not every battle is worth fighting, and that calmness can be far more disarming than any counter-argument. This kind of silence is a deliberate act of preservation, a way to protect one's peace while allowing the moment to pass without fueling the fire of conflict. Over time, such an approach can profoundly transform relationships. When others see that you no longer rise to every provocation, that you maintain a steady calm, even in the face of criticism, they may begin to question their own actions. By choosing not to engage in unnecessary conflict, you project an aura of strength, maturity, and emotional self-control, qualities that often inspire respect and admiration in others. Resilience, as the Stoics teach, is not just about surviving the storms of life, it's about thriving within them. Stoicism is not merely a philosophy for enduring hardship, it is a guide for flourishing in adversity. It invites us to cultivate practices that strengthen both body and mind, laying a foundation for lasting peace and focus. Through daily habits such as meditation, deep contemplation, and disciplined physical exercise, we build a reserve of inner strength that can be drawn upon in times of need. These practices help us remain centered, even when the world around us feels chaotic. Take meditation, for example. By regularly sitting in stillness, we train the mind to see problems from a broader perspective. In moments of crisis, this mental clarity allows us to pause, reflect, and approach challenges with calm rationality, rather than reacting impulsively. Physical exercise, on the other hand, builds not only the body's strength but also the mind's discipline. The ability to push through physical discomfort or fatigue mirrors the resilience needed to face life's emotional and psychological trials. Through these practices, we fortify ourselves against the inevitable difficulties of life. Each hardship becomes an opportunity, a chance to practice patience, to cultivate self-control, and to nurture inner peace. The uncertainties of life, which once caused anxiety or stress, are now reframed as opportunities for growth and self-discovery. One of the most transformative insights Stoicism offers is the idea that every setback, every obstacle, is a stepping stone to something greater. When life knocks us down, the Stoic mindset reminds us that this fall is not the end, but a chance to rise higher. Stoicism does not deny the reality of pain or suffering. Rather, it teaches us to embrace these experiences as integral parts of the human journey. Each challenge we face is a moment to deepen our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Consider the heartache of a breakup. It's all too easy to become lost in the feelings of rejection, loneliness, or grief that follow the end of a relationship. But Stoicism encourages us to shift our focus not to dwell on what has been lost, but to reflect on what has been gained. The end of a relationship is not just a loss, but an opening of space for introspection, for learning, and for personal growth. It is an opportunity to understand more deeply what we need and desire, both from ourselves and from future partners. This principle applies to all areas of life. Whether it's a failed project at work, a personal disappointment, or a missed opportunity, Stoicism teaches that every loss contains within it the seeds of new possibilities. By shifting our focus from what has been lost to what can be gained, we turn setbacks into opportunities for growth and transformation. One of the core tenets of Stoicism is the belief that actions, not words, are the true measure of a person's worth. In our relationships, particularly romantic ones, there's a common misconception that constant communication, checking in, sending messages, making ourselves always available demonstrates care and commitment. However, this behavior often has the opposite effect, leading to a dynamic where our value is diminished by our over-availability. True strength, the Stoics teach, lies in showing, not telling. Instead of relying on words to express our worth, we let our actions speak for themselves. If, in a relationship, we are constantly texting, checking in on every detail of our partner's day, we might believe we are showing love, but we risk appearing clingy or overly dependent. The more we talk, the less weight our presence holds. In contrast, when we pull back, give space, and live our lives with independence, we create a natural balance. We are no longer the person constantly seeking validation, but someone who has a life rich with their own pursuits and interests. This shift not only preserves our own sense of self-worth, but often leads to a deeper, more fulfilling connection, where both partners appreciate the space to grow individually. Silence, in Stoicism, is not emptiness, but a profound force. It is in silence that we find our strength, our clarity, and our resilience. In a world filled with noise and endless distractions, the ability to sit in quiet, to reflect, and to hold back from reacting is a rare and powerful gift. In Stoic philosophy, there is an essential lesson that is both simple and profound. Mastering your emotions is the foundation of personal strength. Without control over your emotions, you risk becoming a puppet to external forces, easily manipulated by the actions and opinions of others. Imagine, for example, the frustration you feel when a woman doesn't reply to your messages, or when a friend lets you down, or when someone cuts you off in traffic. In these moments, your peace of mind is no longer in your hands, you've handed it over to someone else. The Stoics believe that when you allow yourself to be rattled by such trivial events, you surrender your inner power. You let external events control your state of mind, which not only diminishes your own strength but makes you vulnerable to others' whims and behaviors. Consider why it's so important to take charge of your emotions. Picture this: you're upset because someone hasn't responded to your texts. Maybe you feel ignored or unimportant, and your mood spirals downward. But pause and ask yourself, why is their behavior affecting you so deeply? Stoicism teaches that it's not the event itself that causes our distress, it's our interpretation of the event. The woman's silence, the friend's betrayal, the rude driver in traffic, these things in themselves don't hold the power to upset us. It's our attachment to a particular outcome, or our expectation of how others should behave, that leads us to emotional turmoil. In the eyes of the Stoics, responding with frustration or anger only reveals a weakness in our character. It shows that we are still allowing others to dictate how we feel. Strength, true strength, comes from within and is independent of the actions of others. A Stoic remains steady, unshaken by life's minor disturbances, because they understand that the only thing they truly control is their own reaction. Imagine if, instead of reacting with irritation when someone ignores you, you simply let it slide. Instead of allowing someone else's rudeness to ruin your day, you keep your calm, understanding that their behavior has nothing to do with you. This is not about suppressing your emotions or pretending to be indifferent. Rather, it's about building an unshakable core, so that your emotional state is no longer dependent on external circumstances. This kind of emotional resilience is attractive, not just in romantic relationships, but in all aspects of life. People respect someone who doesn't crumble under pressure, who doesn't lose their cool when things don't go their way. By cultivating this inner strength, you not only protect yourself from manipulation, but you also earn the respect and admiration of others. So, how can you begin to develop this Stoic resilience? The next time you feel your emotions rising, whether it's due to frustration, disappointment, or anger, take a moment to pause. Breathe. Ask yourself, is this really worth my energy? More often than not, the answer will be no. By letting go of the small things, you free yourself from unnecessary emotional turbulence. You stop giving others the power to affect your mood, and instead you take full responsibility for how you feel. This is not about being emotionless, it's about being in control. Mastering your emotions means that no one else can dominate you. And that is a profound kind of strength. In today's fast-paced world, where we are constantly bombarded with stimuli and opinions from others, solitude might seem like a scary, uncomfortable concept. We are conditioned to seek approval, to stay connected, and to fill our lives with distractions so that we never have to face the silence. But what if I told you that solitude is not something to be feared? In fact, solitude can be your greatest ally. The key to unlocking a deeper sense of self-worth and personal power. Think about it. How often do we seek validation from others, hoping that someone will fill the void we feel inside? We jump from one relationship to the next, or surround ourselves with people and noise, all in an effort to avoid being alone. But here's the truth: the very thing we are running from is the thing that can set us free. Solitude isn't an enemy. It's a mirror that reflects back our true selves. When we allow ourselves to sit in silence, without the distractions of others, we come face to face with our deepest fears and insecurities. And while this can be uncomfortable, it's also incredibly liberating. By embracing solitude, we are no longer running from ourselves. We are giving ourselves the space to confront and understand who we really are. The masks we wear for others start to fall away, and we meet our true selves raw, vulnerable, and real. This process can be transformative. When we stop seeking validation from others and start finding it within, something remarkable happens. We become unbreakable. No longer are we dependent on others for our happiness. No longer does rejection or loss hold the same power over us. When you find completeness within yourself, nothing external can shake you. This internal strength is not only empowering but also deeply attractive. People, especially in romantic relationships, are naturally drawn to someone who is comfortable being alone. It signals independence, confidence, and a deep sense of self-worth. You no longer need others to make you feel whole, because you've already found everything you need within yourself. This doesn't mean that you close yourself off from relationships or friendships. Rather, it means that you approach them from a place of strength, not need. You are no longer seeking someone to complete you. You are simply enjoying the company of others because you already feel complete. There's a profound freedom that comes with this realization. By embracing solitude, you break free from the chains of dependency and the societal pressure to always be connected. You no longer need anyone else's approval or validation. You've learned that being alone doesn't diminish your life, it enriches it. You become the architect of your own happiness, and this self-reliance is the cornerstone of true personal power. So, stop chasing after the fleeting approval of others. Stop jumping from one relationship to another in the hope that someone else will fill the void. The truth is, no one else can do that for you. Only you can fill the gaps within yourself. By focusing on your own growth, by learning to enjoy your own company, you unlock a new level of strength and independence. This is the foundation of a fulfilling life where you are in control, where you are not swayed by the opinions or actions of others, but grounded in your own sense of self. When you embrace solitude, you become unshakable. No longer are you afraid of being alone, because you've come to realize that you are your own best companion. And as you grow more comfortable with yourself, you'll find that the need for external validation diminishes. You no longer need to seek approval from others, because you've already given it to yourself. This is the essence of true strength, the ability to stand alone, to be content with who you are, and to find peace within. This shift in mindset not only changes how you view yourself, but also how others view you. When you are self-reliant, when you no longer need others to make you feel worthy, people naturally gravitate towards you. You become a beacon of strength and stability in a world that is often chaotic and uncertain. People respect those who are independent, who don't rely on others for their happiness, and who have a deep sense of self-worth. Mastering your emotions and embracing solitude are two of the most powerful tools you can cultivate on your journey to personal empowerment. These practices will not only shield you from being manipulated or swayed by external forces, but they will also help you build a life of true freedom. When you take charge of your feelings and learn to be comfortable in your own company, you reclaim your power. You become the author of your own life, no longer subject to the whims and actions of others. This is the path to true strength. It's not loud or flashy. It doesn't require the approval of others. It is quiet, steady, and rooted in a deep understanding of who you are and what you are capable of. By cultivating this inner strength, by embracing solitude and mastering your emotions, You become a force to be reckoned with, a person who is not easily shaken, who stands firm in the face of adversity, and who lives life on their own terms. So, as you move forward in life, remember this: you don't need anyone else to complete you. Everything you need is already within you. By adopting this mindset, by focusing on your own growth and self-mastery, you will become the person you were always meant to be: strong, independent, and free. In the world of Stoicism, there's an important principle that serves as the foundation for a fulfilling and empowered life: knowing how to wisely prioritize your time and energy. Your time and energy are two of the most valuable assets you possess, but how often do we pause to reflect on how we're spending them? Think about your own life for a moment. Are you dedicating your time to people and pursuits that genuinely uplift you? Or are you wasting these priceless resources on trivial matters? Or even worse, on people who offer little in return beyond a fleeting smile or a moment of attention? Stoicism encourages us to snap out of these unhealthy patterns of behavior. Time is not a renewable resource. Once it's spent, it's gone forever. Yet, so often, we squander this precious asset on things and people that don't enrich our lives. Consider this: if you're constantly pouring your time and energy into people who do nothing more than boost their own egos at your expense, you're misusing the most valuable thing you own. This behavior doesn't just suggest a poor allocation of resources, it also implies that you might not be valuing yourself enough. You may be seeking validation from others, willing to accept any attention you can get, even if it doesn't serve your deeper needs. This tendency is a sure recipe for unhappiness and regret. Stoicism teaches us to be selective, not out of arrogance, but out of wisdom. It's about guarding your most valuable asset, your time, and not allowing it to be wasted on shallow or meaningless interactions. This means being discerning about the people you allow into your life. Are they helping you grow? Are they contributing to your goals? Are they making you a better version of yourself? If the answer is no, then it's time to rethink how much energy you're investing in them. The ability to be choosy with your time and energy signals something important to the world. It shows that you're not just anybody, you're someone with direction, with goals, and with a sense of purpose. You're not easily swayed or taken advantage of, because you've learned to prioritize what truly matters. In fact, the more selective you are, the more attractive and valuable you become to others. People gravitate toward those who have a clear sense of self-worth and purpose. When you prioritize your time wisely, you communicate to others that you are a person who demands respect, both from yourself and from those around you. This doesn't mean cutting people out of your life simply to create distance. It's about knowing your worth and honoring that worth by choosing carefully where you invest your energy. Being selective with your time makes you more intriguing, more desirable, and ultimately more respected. When people see that you're someone who values their own time, they begin to value it too. You become a person of substance, not just someone who's always available, always willing to sacrifice their own needs for the sake of others. So, the next time you find yourself about to invest your time in someone, stop and reflect. Are they truly deserving of your energy? Are they contributing positively to your life, helping you grow and evolve, or are they merely draining your resources without giving anything in return? If the answer isn't clear, it's time to reconsider your priorities. Have the strength to cut off those who don't respect your time or your boundaries. This isn't about being harsh or unkind, it's about recognizing your own value and refusing to waste your life on people or situations that don't serve your highest good. When you begin to treat your time with the same respect a Stoic treats life itself, something powerful happens. You elevate yourself. You no longer settle for mediocrity or for relationships that drain you. Instead, you seek out the best, and by doing so, you begin to attract the best. Respecting your own time forces others to respect it too. It raises you above the ordinary and helps you stand out as someone who is confident, self-assured, and deeply rooted in a sense of purpose. People will notice, and they will respect you for it. Another critical aspect of Stoic philosophy is the importance of standing on your own 2 feet. This goes beyond the idea of self-sufficiency as a mere skill. It is a declaration of independence, a pledge to yourself that you will not rely on others for your happiness or your achievements. When you embrace this mindset, you are making a powerful statement to the world: you are in control of your life. You don't need others' approval to validate your existence, nor do you need their support to achieve your goals. Imagine yourself in a social setting, a party, for instance. Instead of seeking approval from others or feeling the need to engage in every conversation to prove your worth, you move through the crowd with quiet confidence. Your silence isn't a sign of insecurity or emptiness, it's a mark of your ability to stand on your own. You don't need to be the loudest or the most noticeable person in the room to make an impact. Your self-assurance speaks volumes. You engage in conversations that matter to you, not out of obligation but because you choose to. This kind of independence disrupts others' expectations and challenges their views of what it means to be confident and self-reliant. Being self-sufficient means owning every choice and action in your life. It's about understanding that you are the only one in control of your destiny. When you truly embrace this idea, you become less susceptible to the opinions and judgments of others. Their fleeting criticisms or praise no longer have the power to knock you off course, because your sense of direction comes from within, not from external validation. This doesn't mean rejecting all help or isolating yourself from others. It's about knowing when support is truly helpful and when it's just a crutch that weakens your ability to stand on your own. Financial independence is a significant part of this equation as well. When you're financially self-reliant, you're free to make decisions that are truly your own, uninfluenced by those who might control you through financial means. Emotional independence is equally important. It's about finding your balance from within, not seeking it through others' approval or validation. When you cultivate this inner strength, you're better equipped to face life's ups and downs with grace and resilience. You're no longer reacting impulsively to every challenge. Instead, you're responding thoughtfully, with a calm and steady hand. This mindset of self-reliance sharpens your ability to solve problems. Each time you meet and overcome a challenge on your own, you reaffirm your own capabilities. You build resilience, which makes future hurdles seem less daunting. This is what Stoic self-reliance is all about. It's not just about surviving on your own, it's about thriving. It's about crafting a life where you are the creator of your own reality, not just a passive participant molded by external forces. By cultivating this level of independence, you not only protect yourself from life's uncertainties, but also empower yourself to lead a life filled with purpose, respect, and inner strength. You become a person who doesn't just react to life but shapes it according to your own values and desires. Ultimately, the Stoic philosophy we've explored today isn't just about learning concepts, it's about applying these principles to transform your life. We've touched on the importance of prioritizing your time and energy, and the profound strength that comes from standing on your own 2 feet. Each of these lessons is a step toward better self-awareness and emotional mastery. When you take these Stoic principles to heart, you lay the foundation for healthier relationships, a clearer sense of purpose, and a stronger, more fulfilled version of yourself. Remember, true power doesn't come from always being loud or constantly seeking attention. It comes from the quiet moments, the times when you choose to hold your ground, stay silent, and manage yourself with wisdom and grace. If these ideas resonate with you, take them with you into your life. Show yourself the love and respect you deserve by managing your time wisely, standing on your own 2 feet, and cultivating the inner strength to navigate life's challenges with poise and power. This is just the beginning of your journey toward personal growth and deeper insights. And Stoicism will be a steadfast companion along the way. Keep embracing these principles and you'll not only transform your own life but inspire others to do the same.